grassrootsism panel. Now, before the break, Occupy protester Jeff Olson was saying that, listen, we need to show compassion to these people at the border, if for no other reason. It's America's drug addiction, which is creating violence in Central America and having these people flee the border. I believe it's much bigger than that. I do agree that demand creates supply. Larry Wilski, congressional candidate, retired Navy SEAL. Do you agree with that? That the problem here is all about the drug addiction of America?
No, sir. I agree with Jeff that the demand signal for the drug problem set is us because the United States is the customer. However, there's a lot more things going involved. I mean, there's people with jihadist tattoos coming across the border in these groups. There's a lot of nefarious characters, as well as children whose parents took the risk of sending them up here entrepreneurially to get a better life and a better chance.
We just reported earlier that MS-13, the violent drug gang out of Central America, is setting up a recruiting center in Nogales, Arizona.
Absolutely. People down and out are the recruiting centers for gangs, for Al-Qaeda. Worldwide troublemakers look for people that are down and out, and that's where they get their masses from.
All right, Jeff, before we switch gears, what do you say to that? I mean, it's not just send me your downtrodden and humble.
I hear you. I trust our immigration process to sort out the bad apples. I mean, there are bad apples in every group.
No, wait. Now I know why I oppose Occupy. All right, let's shift gears here. The VA scandal keeps growing. The doctors, they say, are underpaid. People will say, all right, well, listen, that probably surprised a lot of people. But VA administrators, it has been revealed, are overpaid. Let's go to a retired Navy SEAL on this story.
You know, as a disabled vet, I get all of my medical care from the VA hospital. And the VA hospital I go to does a good job. And on the medical side, they're great. But the waiting line and the administrative support is a disaster.
Yeah, the care is good.
The care is good.
It's the administration is poor.
And the problem is there's layers of bureaucracy in that administration. And you've got GS workers that literally, it takes moving mountains to get them fired.
Yeah.
There's no accountability. In the military, we have the luxury of a uniform is accountable because they will pay for screwing it up.
Yeah.
And these folks that are administrating the VA don't.
So a solution here?
A whitewash. I mean, we need to replace and have interim leadership in the VA from active duty military so they're immediately accountable, and then replace those people with some that are a little bit easier to fire, not a GS system. And the whole system needs to be changed.
I feel bad for President Obama on this one because he didn't learn about it until he saw it in the news. And you can't. All right, so Jeff Olson, as an Occupy protester, I know a lot of conservatives out there will look at you and say, he probably doesn't care about the VA. Probably, it's none of his issues. But you are actually living it in your personal life.
It's true. I have friends who are medical professionals that work at the VA, and my father-in-law is 48 hours away from a triple bypass at a VA facility. So, while the VA situation is a total nightmare, it's clearly completely screwed up. I mean, we have political leadership that spent trillions on wars without making any accommodations for the soldiers that would be coming home from those wars. In the meantime, there are incredible medical professionals every single day who, there are physicians and PAs and nurses and nursing assistants who are giving incredible care to our vets, the care that they deserve.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when you sign up, that's part of the deal, is you're going to get VA medical care. So we need political leadership that can not only send our boys into harm's way, but can take care of when they come home.
And I think the problem is, as Larry Wilski said, it's big government bureaucracy. It screws everything up. In fact, it needs to get some. Here's my segue. Here's an example of big government at its finest, its worst, you name it. In northwestern Pennsylvania, it's where I was born, in fact, just ironically, the U.S. government sent 14,000 draft notices to individuals who've been deceased, some for as many as 100 years, threatening years in imprisonment, $250,000 fines. I don't know what kind of take I'm looking for you on that. I'm going to ask you for a take.
Well, at least it's not actually harming anyone who's alive. I think the youngest person that could have received this based on the years that were set was 117 years old. So no lives are in harm's way. That's a positive. I would say that's a step up from where the government's been operating thus far.
We need those guys back. We need those guys back.
Bring them back.
Bring them back.
Look at a zombie draft.
Zombie draft. Larry Wilski, government ineptitude once again.
Well, great-grandfather who fought in World War I was an outstanding soldier, and we need it back at the front lines, dead or otherwise.
Jeff Olson, I'd like to hear your final comment, but I won't. We're out of time. Okay. All right, I'd like to thank protester Jeff Olson, retired Navy SEAL Republican candidate for Congress in California's 53rd District, Larry Wilsky, and Denise Gitsom, principal of 7-Second Strategies. Thank you for being part of our grassroots panel.
Thanks for having us.
And I want to thank you, our viewers, for watching. Right back at you again tomorrow night, same time, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. And now I leave you with my Amato Mio moment of the day, Cat Copter, a new take on taxidermy.